What do you think is one question about AI that people should be asking but aren't?
How safe it is
Huh.
in day-to-day life. What I should and shouldn't be doing with it.
Yeah. So they're all jumping to the it's going to kill
Yeah.
us all.
No, or they're just jumping to use it without thinking about what we shouldn't be using AI for.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. What do you think we shouldn't be using AI for?
So I mentioned some of the things, right? For your health,
Hmm.
for your like um, personal develop, no, not personal development, like health, medicines,
Yeah.
uh,
Diet.
uh, counseling,
Hmm.
not for counseling at all, no emotional attachments. These kind of things, like, I think are a red flag when people start and they start treating AI as their friend,
Hmm.
and then depending on it, and that's all wrong. It
Is
should be used in an assistant capacity. That's all, not more than that.
is ChatGPT a yes man?
Almost, yes.
Because it kind of seems that way. You know, when I could ask it anything, or I could tell it it's wrong, and it just goes, "Yeah, sorry." And I'm like, "But do you don't understand that you're wrong?" And it just doesn't. It's like it just doesn't. It's speaking to a robot, literally.
Yes. See, cognitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, maybe yes. I mean, I think it depends on what you're using it for. But
Mm.
yes, usually it says yes. It agrees to whatever you say is whatever you think is right for ChatGPT or these kind of tools usually.
Is that coded into it?
No, it's not coded into it. It's like, so the agentic capability that is coming to those for in those models
Mm.
uh, is not smart enough. It's not intelligent. It's just that it has seen some data. When you ask a question, it just researches that data and creates a response from that data for you. That's all. And it doesn't it's not there for like advice. Should I do this or not? You
Mm.
should not be taking advice from ChatGPT because it is not made for advice. That's what I tell everyone. Don't take advice from ChatGPT. It's not
Mm.
like an advising thing. So it's what it is doing, just throwing a lot of data at you. That's all.
It's interesting. I've got quite a few of
It
my
doesn't think.
yeah. I've got quite a few of my mates that I don't want to throw anyone under the bus here, but they're single, and
Hmm.
they'll ask ChatGPT what to reply to a girl.
But see, this is what. So now the if for example they're asking a friend, a human person,
Huh.
that person might ask what the girl like, or the partner, or the
Mm.
whatever person they're looking at is like.
Mhm.
But ChatGPT doesn't know. It'll just it'll look at a lot of, like, I don't know, dating websites. I don't know what it'll look at, a lot
Mhm.
of data, and then just throw some data out there from there. So
It's quite funny, isn't it? Because a lot of my
yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
they'll genuinely,
It's just funny that people start taking advice from ChatGPT for everything. I was like, okay, should I do this or not? Don't
yeah.
ask ChatGPT. It doesn't know. Should I invest in these stocks or not? It's like all it knows is data. It
Mm.
doesn't know your risk appetite. It doesn't know anything.
And it
It
can't
doesn't know
predict the
how
future,
depressed you will be after you send that reply or send that text.
and not get a reply from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird because my friends will they'll screenshot all the I've seen it happen. They'll go on dating apps, they'll screenshot all the messages and then they'll upload it to ChatGPT. And they always text me and they're like, "This is such a killer reply. ChatGPT saved me." And then they reply and they get ghosted.
And I don't know. I see. I'm already like married and stuff like, so I don't know about that area and all.
Yeah.
But like right now, but I think that people can even understand whether the replies are coming from Chat GPT. A lot of people can feel the difference between the actual replies and, so for example, the
Yeah.
emails that are coming to me, I can I can read it once and I know whether this was written using a
Mm.
model or a Chat GPT. When my students are writing papers and they're sending their first draft of papers to me, I'm like, okay, don't give me a Chat GPT or this kind of draft. I need a real person writing the paper, because you read it and you understand in one go that okay, because what ChatGPT or these kind of models that they add a lot of fluff. So all
Hmm.
the adjectives and adverbs and all these things are coming from ChatGPT rather than a real person.
Yeah.
So some people do understand as well that they have written the response using ChatGPT.
Yeah. Can you tell pretty instantly when you're looking at these papers?
I can tell, especially for the official documents that I work with, quite easily. If somebody has written a research proposal using ChatGPT, I can identify quite easily. And it's not about like it's not like they have I am seeing some like something is algorithm coded into it. No,
Huh.
it's just the way the response is written.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I said it's not human like at all. And this
No.
kind of capability you cannot give an AI.
Yeah, and it always adds hyphens, and it does. You're right though. It fluffs, and it doesn't
A
actually
lot.
say anything. It just fluffs things up.
No. Yeah. And sometimes when you try to it has given you a paragraph and you read that paragraph, the actual content in that paragraph might be just a few words.
Mhm.
Rest is a lot of fluff around it, just
Yeah, it's interesting that you
I'm
can
not
tell
saying
straight
it's
away.
bad. I'm not against it. It is helping people a lot, but I'm just saying that there are limitations of it and people should know the limitations.
Yeah, and also use their own brain. I think what I've found really useful is, so let's say you have the idea generation. So ChatGPT might spark an idea, and I think that's great.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm heavily dyslexic, so I'll write a script. I then put the script into ChatGPT and say fix this, and it does, and that's what it's helpful for. But I am doing the cognizant thinking. I'm not
Yeah.
making ChatGPT do it. I'm just adding.
No.
It's a tool.
Yeah, it's a tool, exactly. And if you just, for example, say that, okay, I'm doing a podcast on AI and then write a script for me, right?
Hmm.
And then the questions that it might give, you might not even like the script that you produce and the script that ChatGPT produce might be very different.
Hmm.
And I think the one that you produce is coming from a lot of your experience from how the podcaster run, all those things which doesn't have. And sometimes when you start, for example, this is also a problem. So you start interacting with ChatGPT, you have opened a chat, and then you ask for a script, for example, and then it gives you a script. Then you give your ideas.
Hmm.
The way it will interpret your ideas would be different because it already has some context from the previous script that it generated.
Huh.
But if you could introduce a new chat, and in that new chat, then you first start with your ideas, the way the context will be developed will be different.
Isn't that interesting?
It's
So it's kind of molding it to your preference.
yes, exactly.
But then what happens if your preference is wrong and it's just going to keep molding it
Yeah,
to
so
the
it
wrong
keeps on
preference?
giving you wrong information. If, for example, you start a chat and you go into a wrong context or context that is not very interesting to you, it's very difficult to fix it back because it has already gone into that context and it just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into it. Then it's better to just start a new.
So if every new chat that you start on ChatGPT, that's like a reset to the context that it has, right?
It's sort of if you have so it depends on what kind of settings you have put in your chat gpt. So we're going into the details of chat gpt now, but it's fine. So for example, in chat gpt there is a way that you can enter information which it can use as background every time you start chatting with it. So if you have a
Ah.
proper account, you've logged into it, you can put that use all this background information when I start chatting with you. So it can always look at that background information. But if you don't have that information and you start a new chat, you're basically it doesn't have any context and you're starting anew. But if you keep on, for example, somebody is already using a chat for a long time and then you keep on adding to that, then the old context will be built into it.
So what happens if the right? Okay, so how would you reset that? How would someone?
Start a new chat, you cannot reset. It's very difficult to reset. That's what I'm saying. So for example, your dating example, you start, so your friend must have dated with like you some person, not your friend, some person took some dating advice from chat gpt and say it was not a very good or relevant advice. Then they use the same chat to take the advice next time.
Hmm.
But because there is already wrong context built into it, everything that will come through after it would still have that context of that information which was already built in. But then if you want to like forget, say that start anew, then you have to start a new chat for it.
Isn't that wild though that every single person that's using ChatGPT, I'm guessing there's millions and millions and millions of users, has an
Mm.
individual AI?
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I no,
Yeah.
I love these assistants. And for example, you want to apply for a job, right? And and another person wants to apply for the same job. But the cover letter that you generate and the cover letter that other person generates might be completely different just based on the information that you have given to that AI. So for example, if you say that I've did education here and work experience here, the cover that it will generate is very different from what it will generate for another person for the same job. So yes, it's your personal AI.
It's just kind of wild to me that well, what's wild to me is firstly that everyone has it and it's that long. The chain of it is just humongous. But then there's also the fact that people could essentially give it the wrong information and it just keeps that and it rolls
Easily,
with it.
very easily, yeah, very easily. I There is this question which I have in my mind, right? For example, you take any person, and then if any famous person, for example, and if a lot of people keep on saying bad things to ChatGPT about that person, and then a new person comes in and ask about that person, will only the bad information come about that person? No. So people can actually bias the
ChatGPT just
whole. Yeah,
is that not quite dangerous in terms of,
it
let's
is.
say,
It
like,
is. It's what I was saying about safeguarding and ethics
yeah.
and safe, because I just feel like there are so many loopholes in it, and
Mm.
nobody to fix it, nobody to look at it. Some things are being looked at after they become a big issue. But what about the small things that nobody is even noticing that is already happening?
If you guys enjoyed that clip, please do me a huge favor before you go and head over to our Into the Mind podcast official page where we have the raw, uncut Into the Mind podcast and hit that subscribe button. And the more subscribers we get, the more incredible guests we can get on the show. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all real soon.